Hello guys, this is Avcore, and I actually want to do a little short video on the 3c's of Bozel, Sliver Wolf, and Kirikaze. I hate to say it, but I'm actually satisfied with Bozel, so I'll go to him first. I'm really satisfied with Bozel's 3C. I think this is the right way to go. Awakening skill, Chaos Descends. Cost 3. It's a 3 cost. Cooldown 0. I like that. Range self, span 5. It's basically Heaven Sanction, but for Bozel. Magic damage, attack enemies within 5 blocks of self for 0.33 damage. The damage multiplier is meh, and deal 2 random debuffs, which is meh. But for like no cooldown, that's fine. After this skill does damage, the next cast will have 0.5 skill damage and will add 1 random extra debuff. So the next one is 1 cooldown and 3 debuffs, and it'll be a 3.8 multiplier, which is really good. But the cooldown increases by 1, so that's fair. Max 0.1 skill damage, 2 random debuffs, and 2 cooldowns. So I think this is much better than his dark buddy. Let's go to him real quick. And where's he at? Ashram kind of got cucked. Like, see, he has a 3 cost 0 cooldown. 3C attacks the center enemies, which is high. 1.7 is really high. Gain Renrai. Every time this skill is used, the damage dealt permanently is reduced by 15% up to 30%. After battle, may move 3 blocks. If there's no enemies within 1 block of this unit, he gets extra life because it becomes decimate. Yeah, I think so. Not sure on that, but going back to Bozel. Bozel doesn't have all the problems that his has. He gains damage, he doesn't lose damage. He gains debuffs, he doesn't lose debuffs. The only penalty he has is a maximum of 2+ cooldown. And since his cooldown was 0 to begin with, he has a 2 cost skill at the end of the day. So this is really good for Bozel, because for him to drop 2 debuffs, and when you add on his talent, that's 1 random debuff. When you use his miracle staff, that's another debuff, and when you use his equipment, that's like 5 debuffs. So that's really good. And the fact that it's around him, that means you can position it better. But there is some flaw to that if you wanted to like hit from afar, that option is gone with this skill. But nonetheless, it's a really good 3 cost skill because it doesn't suck up his slots, so to speak. Like with 3 costs, like you really can't like use it properly. Like if I go to oh wow, this is slow. If I go to Shafaniel, yeah, let's go to Shafaniel, and you'll see why Bozel is so much better. Her 3C is like a cooldown of 5, which is 2 with her talent if it's at max stars. Your critical hit rate is increased by 60%, which is really good. And then you attack within 5 blocks itself, dealing 0.3 AoE damage, dispels 3 buffs, effective against demons with hidden demons. This skill also stuns. This is kind of useless because there's not too many demons running around in the meta right now. It's going to really shift to holy units. And when hitting 3 or more enemy units, the skill's cooldown is reduced by 1. When successfully defeating an enemy skill, the skill cooldown is reduced by 2. So you got to kill somebody in order to infinitely spam this. So there's no guarantee that you can infinitely spam this skill. But Bozel is not asking you to infinitely spam the skill. It's not asking that. In fact, it basically says that in PvP you're really not gonna use a skill more than at the max for what I've seen in my personal experience. Like I've used Earthquake like 3 times. I used another AOE like 2 times. So I used Black Hole 2 times, and I use another skill like 3 times. So PvP goes really fast depending on the matches because people like to play like aggressively. So this is good. We're not asking Bozel to try to kill many units and like drop his cooldowns, because first of all you start with no cooldown, then you start with 1 cooldown, then at the max you have 2 cooldowns, which is not bad. So he really didn't need Shafenio's talent in order to make this thing work. And you get more damage with each cast of the skill, and you get more debuffs with each cast of it. And sometimes if you really don't want to bring a faction buff with Bozel, you can just bring his sleep. You can bring this 3-cost, and you can bring something like Fireball. Let me see what else he has. Or better yet, Seal. I think Seal would be actually better. I think you bring Seal, Sleep, and the 3-cost, and you're good to go. I think this is a really well made 3C. I don't think it's as crazy as Bernhardt, but I'm okay with that. It's kind of broken, but I'm okay with that. So this 3C is really good. No complaints on that. This is a really good 3C. I think Bozel's life expectancy in PvP has extended 2 more seasons. This guy finds a way to stay in PvP for some reason. I'm still using him. I'm not going to stop using him now, definitely, because of his faction. If nothing else, he's a good faction buffer, and he gets faction buffed by one of the strongest factions in the game. So there's no reason not to use your boy there. So I think this is a really good 3C. Well, let's go to your buddy Sliver Wolf and Kirikaze, because they got cucked. Let's go to Kirikaze first. Kirikaze actually is a superhero when it comes to PvE content. If you ever have the chance, just look up Keeps. If you want to see how Kirikaze is supposed to be used in PvE content, just look up Keeps. I think he was the best Langrisser YouTuber we ever had. But that's my opinion. Some people would disagree. But anyway, Kirikaze's 3C is Kotetsu no Goki. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but you got a 3-cost, the cooldown is 3, 2 range, and single target, which he is a single target unit. There would be no use for him to use an AoE skill. If this hero's skill is higher than the opponent before battle, then this hero gains physical damage minus 30%. This is actually really good, because this guy is actually a really tanky unit, and he functions like a crit Elwyn, in the fact that he heals his damage based on a crit. If he crits, he restores 30% of the damage at max star, and he has a 100% chance to reduce the cooldown of the skill that he used by 1 round, which is good because this makes this a 2-cost skill, a 2 cooldown skill, and his crit rate is increased, which is really good. The problem with this is he has no damage increase. That's the only problem with Kirikaze, is he has no damage increase in his talent. Not even crit damage increase in his talent. That would make him like an excellent unit. But I digress. He is an SR unit. You can't make him perfect. Or no, you wouldn't use Elwyn, so he can't be that strong. But his awakening skill attacks a single enemy, dealing 1.6 damage. That damage multiplier isn't that high, considering he has no damage increase in his kit. Critical hit rate and damage increase by 20%. This is good. This is good. So I take that back. This justifies it. Crit rate and damage increased by 20%. This is really good. This part is really good. Melee soldiers will also attack. This is really good. This skill is not affected by melee range penalties. So this is actually all right. I take that back. But it's not a game changer. It's not going to make him PvP worthy, but Kirikaze is actually really strong in PvE content, especially against Dromagandir. In his assassin class, I think he's really good in Dromagandir. In fact, I've seen him used by Keeves and Dromagandir to excellent effect. So I don't use him, but I watched him. I watched him be used really well. But yeah. So I think that's a. I actually think that's a really good 3C. I take that back. That's a good 3C, especially for the content that he's used in, which is PvE content. He's even good at high level challenge maps because he can deal so much damage off the crit. But it's based on crit, so you got to get his crit high for him to really be effective. His crit rate has to be really high for you to get the most out of this character. And the sad part is, I guess Wikigresser didn't care enough to show his stats or his soldier, his troop trainings. So that's okay. It's okay, man. He's not a SSR unit, so you guys get a pass. Let's actually check Sliver Wolf. Will be the last guy we check. Sliver Wolf is actually another great PvE unit, especially for Dromagandir. Yeah, I think Sliver Wolf and Kirikaze are literally made for Dromagandir because I saw both of them used to incredible effect. In fact, I saw this guy used by a Japanese YouTuber. He has like some letters, so I don't know his real name. But if you go to YouTube, you can see him. It's his older videos though. It's not his newer content because he plays on the Chin server, so he's way ahead of me and everybody else on global. But this guy is really tanky because once you stack up his buffs, his attack and defense like skyrocket. Especially 21% on the defense, that's pretty good. And he can still bust from the target. So he's really good for PvE content, especially when you give him extreme magic bow and equip him with samurai. He is really good. This is the skill I think I had the most issue with out of the two. Awakening skill, Shadow, Storm Shatter, 3 cost, 3 cooldown, not bad. Range 2, span single. Ignores guard and attacks a single enemy, dealing 1.4 damage. Before entering battle, gain movement +1, skill +30%, and damage taken +20%. Last 2 turns of the a critical hit occurs, cooldown -1 for this skill. This is trash. I guess it works because it allows you to stack on some buffs that will increase his attack and defense. But unlike Kirikaze, he has no damage increase. Like, there's no damage increase here either. And in fact, there's no crit increase either. There's no crit. There's just attack increase. So you're basically trying to stack his raw stat in order to kill something, which is never good. I mean, the skill +30 helps. Damage taken -20%. I mean, there's no need for that. It should have been damage dealt +20%. That would have made this skill a whole lot better. I mean, I know it ignores guard, which is really good. But when you see the new faction buffer for his faction, you understand that this skill is lukewarm and mediocre at best. Because that dude gets damage increase and skill increase, and he gets damage and different skills. He gets all of this. So and if you mismatch that guy, let's go take a look at him real quick. Let's go to Wikigresser. Whatever the Epsilon, he does everything that the Sliver Wolf does, and then some. That's why this skill doesn't do anything, because at least Kirikaze can like restore his HP, which is something Epsilon cannot do. Epsilon is just a pure damage dealer with a couple of tricks, but Sliver Wolf is supposed to be a tanky assassin. I guess that helps, but in the long run, it's not so good. It makes him strictly PvE, so I don't like this skill. I thought they could do more with it, because when you look at freaking Kirikaze, this dude has physical damage taken minus 30% as a passive. So that's a passive. He couldn't get that as a passive, and he gets 30% damage. This dude only gets minus 20%. And this dude got super hard cocked. Oh my gosh! I mean, if you combine it with his helmet, which this stat is gay, it should have been like HP plus 10%. This makes no sense. Like when attacking, if the number of buffs on Silver Wolf is greater or equal to the enemy by 2, Silver Wolf will strike first. So I guess what they want you to do is like go in close and attack a squishy unit and kill them, and that could work, I guess. But compared to freaking Kirikaze, this guy got like hosed. I don't know, like they're not really showing any love to like Origins of Light. They're really like screwing them over hard. I mean, I know Origin of Light gets what's the guy name? Lord of Crimzo, but and Toa. But yeah, it's looking bad for Keeb's old faction. It's looking bad, dude, because like Mythic Realm is where it's at, and Meteor is where it's at. But anyways, guys, if you like my content, like, share, subscribe button. I'll get back to you. If you have any comments concerning this, if I said something wrong, correct me. But I just think I think I don't know what they're doing, man. I think in my personal opinion, I think Kirikaze made out better than Silver Wolf by a mile. Anyways, laters. Peace out.